Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge and Brooke are devastated when Eric becomes Katie's mentor. According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Eric Forrester offered to mentor Katie Logan Spencer. Her restored husband had given her the fashion house, which is an extremely difficult undertaking, so she was both shocked and happy. In her nightmares, Katie saw her elder sister giggling. Although Brooke, Logan Forrester has been unduly critical of the new company's name, he doesn't feel that way about her. Logan is the best choice for a number of reasons. One of them involves Katie coming up with a catchy brand name, and the other involves pressuring Forrester Creations to give her free publicity. Forrester Creations is Eric Forrester's legacy. Stephanie Forrester deserves equal credit for building the enduring legacy of FC, as Eric would be the first to point out. Their yearly fashion presentations in exotic locales consistently confirm that this is one of the world's leading fashion houses. It takes years to reach the top position, and maintaining control demands keen brains. This is where Brooke and Ridge Forrester are making mistakes. Logan most likely had no intention of visiting their business for many years. However, Katie responded rightfully and passionately to Brooke's anger, and Eric supported her as well. Katie Logan Spencer is driven and realistic. Katie has a strong business sense. The credit for mentoring Katie during those early years goes to her father, Brooke, and Bill Spencer. Katie has more than demonstrated her intelligence in more recent times. She has overseen FC's PR initiatives for 10 years, and during Bill's takeover, she briefly oversaw the business. Although Lang's character is persuaded otherwise, the concept of utilizing Logan wasn't about Brooke. Her remarks regarding Katie's constant envy of her life, even as a tiny child who gazed out the window in wonder at her, were extremely illuminating. Katie is not attempting to outdo Brooke. Instead, Brooke's condescending demeanor feeds her sense of superiority. Ridge Forrester reacts incorrectly. Ridge's first instinct is to stand up for Brooke. Given that he is her husband and that their amazing ninth remarriage recently took place in the FC executive suite, that makes sense. Indeed, that did occur, and in that particular environment, Ridge would realize that Katie is not attempting to discredit Brooke if he could take a step back. Her desire to forge her own path is a sign of maturity. Eric's reaction to Katie and his wish to mentor her are partly influenced by his recollections of the formation of FC. However, there is a part of Eric that wants to continue contributing creatively, and Logan provides the ideal setting for him to do so within this clever, evolving plot. B&B spoilers. RJ Forrester returns from a mysterious trip on Thursday, January 15th. According to The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for Thursday, January 15th, 2026, Brooke and Ridge's wish has come true because their only child together is back in Los Angeles. RJ returned, but when did he go? It appears that RJ Forrester has not spent this entire time lurking in the Forrester vault. No one informed us that he had traveled to Europe. We assumed he had simply disappeared. But Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan appear to be aware that their kid has been enjoying a life of luxury and doing little for the past year and a half. Was he simply influencing other Gen Z members by posting on social media? RJ is returned and can now work with a fresh group of young Forrester Creations employees. Regardless of what he was doing, RJ won't be by himself with Electra Forrester, Will Spencer, and Ms. Dillon. But wait till he finds out what transpired with his previous lover. RJ is a master at selecting them. Ms. Dillon handled their little Luna issue, even though Luna was more crazy than anyone could have imagined. Will RJ now develop feelings for Dillon? Eric's new idea. Katie Logan is starting a new day across town, as the younger generation settles into Forrester Creations. Forrester even declines to design for her. Unfortunately, Eric Forrester is one of those people who Forrester rejects. Katie is surprised by Eric's suggestion and unsure of how to respond. Poor Eric simply wants to design, and if he can't do it for his own business, he wants to design for Katie and Logan. However, Eric makes a compelling argument for why he believes this collaboration will succeed. Although he doesn't want to harm the business he founded, he is eager to try something different, and Katie is confident that his name alone can help her fashion house succeed. Are Brooke and Ridge going to go insane together? They will undoubtedly learn a lesson from this. Or will it? Ridge and Brooke always seem to believe they are correct. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Is Brooke the CBS soap opera's most despised character? According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, you can't ignore her, regardless of whether you love or hate her. Is Brooke the soap opera's most despised character? Naturally, we are discussing Brooke Logan because many soap opera viewers think she may be the most despised character. She has, after all, committed some heinous acts in the past. Shortly after Taylor and Ridge were married, she traveled to Paris specifically to end their marriage. As if that weren't enough, she had an affair with Deacon, the husband of her daughter Bridge, who even engages in such behavior. She is currently attempting to undermine her sister Katie Logan's new fashion brand by preventing her from utilizing her name. Let's just say that, regardless of what others may think, Brooke is the type of woman who believes she should be at the top. Because Brooke Logan has accomplished so much, there aren't many people who genuinely admire her. Fans of B&B obviously had a lot to say about it on social media. What will happen to Brooke Logan next? I was a Brooke hater for years and even to this day, she annoys me more often than not, said one commenter. However, I just can't take any of it seriously since her opponents are individuals who should be in jail. Another critic commented, the hate she gets is mostly justified, but it's also kinda hilarious because almost everyone in this show is morally bankrupt by this point. I think the main difference is that unlike other characters, it's rarely held against her, was another response. It's very hard to find a character who hasn't done some seriously bad things. For example, Steffi faced a lot of criticism for dismissing Hope and having an affair with Liam. Hope faced a lot of criticism for her pursuit of Thomas and the takeover. Ridge does nearly everything. The list is endless. Bold and Beautiful brings in new blood, new dynamics, and more trouble in paradise? A legendary figure with a rich past returns to the fold on Thursday's episode of Bold and Beautiful. However, we don't care as much about R.J. Forrester's history rather than his future, particularly now that Brian Nicoletti, a recent hire, is taking over. R.J. has been where? Did Ridge and Brooke's son return to his successful profession as a social media influencer when he disappeared from Los Angeles after discovering that his estranged girlfriend Luna Nozawa was a double murderer? Did he slip off to design school in order to profit off the abilities Grandpa Eric found in him? Well, no. As it happens, RJ was simply traveling. We'll soon discover that he's grown into this man who's really trying to figure out what he values and where his priorities should be as he relocates to Los Angeles, Nicoletti says TV Insider. The first look picture below shows that RJ picks up where he left off, fighting with his beloved father. Given how near RJ and Eric are, the newborn may have some harsh remarks to make regarding his father's choice to force him into retirement. Naturally, RJ wouldn't be a Forrester if he didn't fall in love with someone he isn't biologically connected to right away. In his instance, that individual seems to be Elektra, who appears quite uneasy after he assists her with her jewelry. However, prior to RJ makes too much trouble in paradise, we believe Dylan, no last name, another young lady, will be on his radar. The driver who killed Dylan is currently infatuated with her friend's boyfriend. However, we can easily envision her diverting herself by dating RJ because from what we know about the co-ed, the last thing she would want to do is interfere with Will and Elektra. All things considered, the dramatic shift from, say, a Hope Liam Steffi Finn plot to a Dylan Will Elektra /R.J. One signifies a type of transition from one generation to the next at the exhibition. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Thomas Forrester sets his sights on Daphne Rose, and Carter Walton may be collateral damage. To be honest, the dating pool on The Bold and the Beautiful is painfully shallow, especially for a single man like Thomas Forrester who isn't interested in dating someone he's related to, as Nicoletti puts it. It was therefore inevitable that Thomas would take note of Daphne Rose, a recent arrival at Forrester Creations who is single. Spoilers now indicate that he's not merely observing. Unfortunately for Daphne's fiancé, Carter Walton, Thomas's growing interest might signal the start of yet another disastrous love affair. Thomas Forrester finds a new distraction, and a dangerous one. Thomas Forrester has made a point of stating that he is totally over Hope Logan since moving back to Los Angeles. No residual emotions, no fixation, no recurrence. However, on this soap opera, deeds speak louder than words. What better way for Thomas to show that he has moved on than to focus on someone completely different? Daphne Rose, who is enigmatic, aspirational, morally dubious, and coincidentally already involved with another man, enters the picture. Thomas has never been deterred by that final detail. Carter Walton rushes to the top, but he might not understand why his romantic past on B&B is filled with failed engagements and dashed expectations. Every time he believes he has found the one, something or someone blows it up. When Carter learns that Daphne is thinking about leaving Los Angeles, he becomes alarmed and reacts in the most typical way possible, by getting down on one knee and making a proposal. A big gesture. An act of desperation. A big red flag. Because Carter might not be aware that Thomas Forrester might soon be pursuing his future wife when he is organizing a wedding. Furthermore, this arrangement feels anything but coincidental considering Thomas and Carter's lengthy history of overlapping romantic interests. A history of bad blood and shared exes. Carter Walton and Thomas Forrester have competed for women before in addition to working together. They have crossed emotional boundaries, dated each other's ex-partners, and subtly harbored animosity toward one another when their romance went awry. That strain never goes away completely. Therefore, Carter's relationship won't be the only thing at risk if Thomas begins flirting with Daphne, even in a light-hearted way. It will spark new animosity and rekindle existing rivalries. Not to be overlooked is Thomas's tendency to desire things that he shouldn't. Daphne Rose. Questionable morals, questionable motives. Daphne Rose's integrity isn't particularly well known. During the Revolution, Steffi Forrester explicitly enlisted her to woo Carter, and she did so without hesitation. Viewers may learn all they need to know about her moral compass from that alone. There are already rumors that Daphne is a gold digger who prioritizes status and security over true love. She hasn't yet engaged with any other men on the canvas. According to spoilers, that is going to change. Will she refuse Thomas's attention, especially the passionate, charming type he's known for? Or would she prefer him to Carter, who is solid and reliable, since he is more thrilling and powerful? Is the engagement of Carter already doomed? It's difficult not to feel terrible for Carter Walton at this point. The rug is ripped out from under him each time he approaches bliss. And every indication points to the possibility that history is repeating itself once more. A hasty suggestion. A mystery fiancé. A competitor with a risky past. And in the background, Thomas Forrester. The big questions fans are asking. Will Thomas Forrester actively pursue Daphne Rose? Or is he merely flirting to show that he has moved on from hope? That is hardly a recipe for happily ever after. Will Thomas be entertained or even encouraged by Daphne? And before he ever gets married, is Carter Walton going to experience another public heartbreak? One thing is certain: Carter's engagement won't endure the consequences if Thomas and Daphne click. Love triangles on the bold and the beautiful are never coincidental, and this one is certain to fail. Eric is interested in working with Katie to start her new business. In the Forrester CEO's office, Rich sent Brooke a neck message. Given his hectic schedule, she questioned how he managed to find time to do that for her. Donna apologized for interrupting the pair. She was worried about Katie and wanted to talk to Brooke about it. Donna was concerned that Katie's health would suffer as a result of the stress of launching Logan. Brooke was also apprehensive, but she didn't believe Katie would be amenable to any worrisome remarks. According to Ridge, Katie would find it even more challenging because she wasn't a seasoned veteran. Donna took offense, admitting that Katie wasn't a beginner either. Ridge didn't believe that observing others manage Forrester equipped her with the skills necessary to start her own business. Brooke inquired as to whether Katie struggled to cope with the pressure. Since Katie was working alone, Ridge wasn't surprised when Donna disclosed how overburdened she was. Donna, the middle kid, wished to mediate a reconciliation between Katie and Brooke. Since Katie left Forrester, nothing had been the same. Donna wanted everyone to go back to their previous state of harmony, but she wasn't picking sides. When Brooke remembered how Katie had thrown her out of her office, Donna thought it made sense because she was upset. Donna's support of Katie was cut off when Rich spoke out. Because Brooke genuinely thought that using the Logan name was equivalent to Katie robbing her and Ridge, she felt degraded. Donna refused to accept that Katie had degraded Brooke on purpose. Ridge didn't believe Katie gave a damn about how her words and deeds affected Brooke. Donna sneered at the idea. She pleaded with Brooke not to let this tear their family apart, reiterating that she would not choose sides. Katie was abusing what Brooke and Ridge had created, Brooke informed Donna. It was all a matter of perspective. But Donna understood what Brooke was saying. The thought that anyone in the fashion world would associate the name Logan with Katie, or even Donna, made Ridge roll his eyes. Logan was exclusively associated with Brooke in his mind. In her office, Katie answered a call regarding Logan, but she abruptly ended it when Eric entered. She praised him for his influence on the fashion business and called him a living legend. When Eric inquired about Katie's situation, she acknowledged that she was just as overwhelmed as she had been when they had first spoken. Katie was appreciative of Eric's offer to help with Logan's launch. Katie was feeling the effects of not having a designer for her first collection. She was more aware than ever of how much she needed one. Eric emphasized that he trusted Katie, and that she was a successful businesswoman. Katie was hoping to locate someone who was somewhat as talented as the creator of Forrester. Katie talked about how Deke was still green when his name was put into the bucket for designer. Katie wanted an ambitious individual who was not scared to reinvent what feminine strength entailed. Eric chuckled as he realized that Katie's idea may directly challenge Ridge and Forrester Creations. Katie learned a lot from Eric over the years because she worked under him for the majority of her career. Eric reviewed a few of the portfolios of possible candidates for Logan's lead designer position. He didn't think any of the candidates were qualified for the job after looking over their designs. Logan's success was crucial, and Katie didn't think she could use what she had to break out from Brooke's shadow. Katie was afraid that if her first collection failed, people would make fun of her. Katie wasn't just starting a clothing line. Rather, she was attempting to maintain her sibling bond with Brooke in the face of harsh criticism and insults. Eric remembered Brooke and Katie's past arguments, but he thought they would eventually work things out. He believed that she was free to use any name for her fashion firm. After learning that Ridge and Brooke had let the Logan trademark expire, Eric thought they had a damaged ego. Eric found Katie's office to be lively and exciting, lighting up and conveying what she might encounter on the runway at a fashion show. He thought it was amazing. Eric acknowledged that Katie was lacking a crucial component of her business that was essential to its success. Dylan was thrilled about the prospect of joining the Forrester Creations family when Eric looked her in the eye and said, "Katie, I want to do this with you. All of it. I don't want to just be a consultant. I want to design for you. You and me together on a runway. Can you imagine that? We're gonna launch this company. We're gonna launch Logan." She expressed gratitude to Will and Electra for requesting a job from Stuffy. Dylan expressed to Electra how important their friendship was to her. The notion of working at the renowned design business was mind-boggling to Dylan, who couldn't believe she was in the building. Dylan's generosity had always been evident to Electra, and their shared affection for Bad Bunny brought them together. Dylan thought she was the luckiest person alive and that her life was finally improving. How awesome would that be? You, me, and Will working together in the same building? Dylan questioned. Although the notion of working there seemed exciting in principle, he was concerned that the pair might become weary of her continual presence. Will and Electra thought about their connection and how important their friendship was while they were by themselves. In the design office, they shared a moment and shared a kiss. But it was hard not to think of Dylan as the quiet before a storm. For better or worse, Dylan's new life is coming together. Dylan makes herself at home as Dylan, the college student art instructor who killed Luna Nozawa and has been living out of her car, has a really unsettling quality. However, she is no longer required to live in her car. Electra Forrester is not at all pleased that she can dwell in Will Spencer's guest room over the garage. Rather, she politely reminded her new buddy that Will is her boyfriend. Though she certainly enjoys living in luxury, sweet and eerie Dylan promised Electra that she wouldn't meddle in their relationship. She would definitely like to collaborate with them at Forrester Creations. It would be dreamy, wouldn't it? Dylan would be thrilled to have a job from Steffi Forrester Finnegan. Even though she allowed Crazy Luna to be the guest teacher, she was incredibly kind to Hayes Finnegan while she was his painting instructor. Hey, mistakes do happen. Although Electra is not excited about the prospect of working with Dylan, she may need to learn to live with him on a regular basis. Donna in the middle. Donna Logan understands that she might have to mediate disputes between her two sisters. Although Brooke and Katie Logan are at odds, Donna wants to keep out of the game since she doesn't feel that she has any real stake in it. Choosing one sister over another is the last thing she wants to do. When she learns that her spouse wants skin in this game, it may be easier said than done. Eric Forrester wants to design since he is already bored with retirement. The issue is that Rich Forrester won't let him and has ejected him from his business. But Eric could wish to be involved with the upcoming opening of a new fashion house.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.